It was a quiet summer night in a small American town. A family of 6 lay fast asleep in their beds. 2 young neighbor girls were staying over for a sleepover. Then came the sound of an axe. By sunrise, all 8 were dead, brutally bludgeoned beyond recognition. Every door locked from the inside, every window covered, and the killer didn't flee. He stayed inside the house for hours. This is not fiction. This is the true story of the Villisca axe murders, one of America's most horrifying unsolved crimes. And even in 2026, the killer has never been caught. Josiah Moore was a respected businessman in Villisca, Iowa. He and his wife Sarah lived with their 4 children, Herman, 11, Catherine, 10, Boyd, 7, and little Paul, just 5. On the evening of June 9, 1912, the family attended a Children's Day program at the Presbyterian Church. 2 neighbor girls, Ina and Lena Stillinger, ages 8 and 12, asked to spend the night. By 10 p.m., the entire household was asleep, unaware that a monster was already watching from the shadows. Sometime after midnight, the intruder slipped through the back door. He took the family's own axe from the shed. He began in the parents' bedroom. One devastating blow to Josiah, then to Sarah. He covered their heads with a sheet and continued smashing their faces until they were unrecognizable. He then moved to the children's room and repeated the horror on all 4 more children. Finally, the 2 little girls in the guest room suffered the same fate. Every victim was struck between 10 and 20 times. The killer left a piece of bacon beside one body and a bloody rag on another. But the most disturbing detail of all, he locked every door from the inside, covered every window, and remained in the house for hours, eating the family's food and washing his hands before finally slipping away into the night. The bodies were discovered the next morning when concerned neighbors noticed the curtains were still drawn. Investigators had more than 200 suspects. The prime suspects included Reverend George Kelly, a traveling preacher with a history of mental illness who confessed twice, then recanted. He was tried twice. Frank F. Jones, a powerful local state senator rumored to have had a deadly grudge against Josiah Moore. Several known axe murderers from neighboring states. The small-town investigation quickly fell into chaos. Evidence was lost. Leads went cold. 114 years later, in 2026, the case remains officially unsolved. However, new DNA technology has reopened the files. Investigators now believe the killer may have been a traveling serial murderer who struck again just weeks later in another state. The Villisca Axe Murder House still stands today as a museum. Visitors report hearing children crying, seeing shadowy figures holding axes, and feeling an overwhelming sense of being watched. Real cases told like nightmares. If you want more dark, unsolved stories from the USA and UK, subscribe now and turn on notifications. In the comments, tell us, who do you believe committed this massacre? The preacher, the senator, or someone else entirely? Thank you for watching Storyverse TV. Sleep well, if you can.